Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today we are finding out which tree is a guardian for you, and a little bit more than that. It's not just which tree is a guardian. We're going to hear a message from that tree. You may have more than one tree guardian, but we're going to hear a message from that tree. And I'm also going to talk you through a little bit about trees. Thank you so much, all of you who tuned into a reading that I did about a week ago, I think. And trees came up in that reading. And I kind of said, look, give me feedback. If this is something you would like me to do, I'll do a reading and also talk to you a little bit more about how to access the guardianship or the messages. Many of you will know or have your own methods, but how to access messages that trees directly wish to give to you. So in a moment, I'm going to talk you through a little bit about trees, but I'm going to first of all just draw the, I'm going to show you these cards in detail so you can have a good look at them. If you want to go straight to the readings and kind of miss the bit where I'm talking about how to connect with trees, and how to understand their auras and how to literally almost merge with a tree. I will do that in a moment, and that may help you also to decide which of these piles is right for you, because I'm going to be talking about the way that trees, not only are they of a certain type, but they have a vocation, just as we do, like a vocation and a calling. So specific trees won't just have certain qualities because that's the tree that they are. They have their own personal journey, their own personal pathway as well. So I'm going to show these to you. I'm going to draw the runes and the charms as well for anyone that would like that extra guidance. And then I will just talk you through a little bit about how to connect, and you can move through then into the readings. And we'll kind of just see how that information also helps you to tune into which of these piles may have a message for you today. And it may, of course, be more than one. So let me show you these first of all. So pile one. We have Sugi. This is the card for pile one. I hope that camera is focusing. Let me see if I can make that. Yeah, there we go. So this is the card for pile one. For pile two, we have Olive. This is the card for pile two. And for pile three, we have Linden. This is the card for pile three. Okay, now I'm going to draw the runes and the charms as well. Let me focus the camera so you can see those cards really well. Let's put a little counter up here just for the charms so you can see them really well when we draw them. Okay, so pile one, you have two runes. You have the rune of Tewaz, the spiritual warrior, and you have Uraz, the rune of strength. Wow, very interesting with this tree. Really interesting energy. I'm going to put those just there. In fact, I think I'm going to move that way and put them here. I hope that's going to be clear for you guys to see. Should be, I hope. Okay, let's get a charm as well for you. Okay, your charm is the turtle. Okay, so it's a really powerful set of cards and runes. Wow. Okay, I'm already in my wow mode. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Source. Thank you, trees. Okay, pile two, your runes. Oh, you've got three runes for pile two. You have protection, Algiz. You have the rune of Perth. This is like the rune of initiation. You also have the rune of movement. This is Awaz. Okay, where can I place that? I'm just going to stick it in the middle there, I think, actually. Very interesting. And your charm is... These are really exciting readings. They really are. The energy is phenomenal. You have an owl. Well, what can we say? Look at this. Just look at this coming through. This is just amazing. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you again, Spirit. Thank you, Source. Thank you, trees. just, please excuse my monumental excitement, but it's just, the energy is really buzzing. Clearly the trees are really, really, really grateful for being invited here today. I mean, it's wonderful. Okay, you have, for pile 3, you have 2 runes, and you have harvest. And so harvest is the rune of Jera, and I think that's right. Yeah, Jera, the rune of harvest. And you also have Manaz, the rune of the south. Had to pause and think for a moment there. The rune of Manaz, the south, Jera of harvest, and your charm for pile 3. Oh, that's not feeling right. Let me... Ah, that's it. We have the star. The 5-pointed star, the Venus star. Okay, that is for pile 3. Okay, very magical energy. Okay, so those are our 3 piles. Beautiful souls, tune into whichever is speaking to you. Take as long as you need. I'm just going to now talk to you just a little bit. I won't go on endlessly. I mean, there's probably a webinar in this, actually, and maybe if that's something you'd like me to do, let me know. But working with trees, I'm sure most of you have an affinity with them. You probably wouldn't be drawn to this reading otherwise. But I think there's something that I would voice for starters as right off the bat when we are wanting to connect with a tree. Sometimes you see a tree and you're just drawn to it and you just want to go and sit with it or hug the tree or whatever that is. But trees have 7 auras. If you approach a tree and you have something like a rattle, if you shake that rattle as you walk towards the tree, every time you cross one of those auras, you'll hear the sound will change, it will shift. You can literally hear it. It's a very good way of tuning into where those auras are. If you have something that can make a little bit of a noise, even if you just are clapping, as you clap, you'll hear the energy change and shift as you walk through the aura. It's a bit like if you're clapping to clear the energy in a room. If you walk around a room clapping, you'll notice if there are pockets of energy in a room where the energy is like a little bit heavier or a little bit stuck, the sound of your clapping changes. So, you could also be clapping, but something like a rattle is a lovely way of doing this. But you'll just notice that shift in energy, and there are 7 auras to a tree. If you're going to approach a tree, obviously it's wonderful to rush up and give it a hug. But what if it's having a day or it's having a moment where it's in its own space of meditation and it doesn't want to be hugged? We tend as human beings just to, also, and there's no ill intent in this. I think we rush up to a tree because we love it, and we're so enthralled by them, and we can sometimes really feel that they are inviting us. But it is always, I think, for me, worth taking the time to find those auras. Walk through towards a tree, and at every aura, as you feel it, I stop and I ask. It's like, is it okay to come in? Is it okay to come into your space? Obviously, sometimes you walk right past a tree. That's fine, and you can acknowledge and greet. But, none of us, I'm sure, would want somebody just marching into our house without knocking on the door first. It would feel disrespectful. And we probably wouldn't want a stranger to come up and give us a big hug. It might feel cool and okay, but it might not. The point is that it is respectful if we take our time. And trees, in my personal experience, really appreciate, they really, really appreciate that level of respect and courtesy because they are wisdom keepers. So as you move towards a tree, this would be my suggestion, and go away and try it. See if you can tune into the aura. I mean, you guys are very sensitive. People who follow readings and are part of this channel and indeed many other tarot channels here, I mean, you guys are very sensitive. We're all moving up that evolutionary ladder at a very fast pace at the moment. We are in a space of great awakening. So our capacity and our ability to listen and to reawaken to things that our ancestors knew is very present for us now at this time. This is part of our awakening. I'll be doing some more readings actually around how this awakening is coming. I've had some really big downloads to share with you, and I will speak about them and bring them into readings as well to really hopefully hopefully assist you in any way that is possible. So check out those auras. I personally will make a little offering as I cross through those auras. I use just a herbal mixture. It looks a bit like the sort of like a herbal tea. These are just herbs and flowers that I gather usually around, in the UK I gather them around the summer solstice. That is the best time energetically that I have found to pick and gather herbs and flowers. You know, they are abundant here in the UK. I dry them and then I offer it. You know, they are taken as well. I would also say whenever I pick something, I ask permission first, always with respect. If you think about it, respect is, it's invisible and yet it is tangible. If someone talks to you, even if their words are all lovey-dovey and nice, but there's no respect intended, you will feel it. Yeah, it's a tangible experience. Respect is actually like a boundary. And when somebody isn't respectful, you will feel that boundary being violated. And if they are respectful, you will feel it in a very tangible way, and it will feel good. So when we offer respect to a tree, particularly when we cross their 7 boundaries, their 7 auras, it makes the most profound connection with the tree. It gives you a very different level of connection. So that is the first thing that I wanted to just share with you. The second thing is to talk about the fact that trees have vocations. So whether a tree is an olive tree or a linden tree or an oak tree or an ash tree or a sugi tree or a cedar tree, whatever a tree is in terms of its, I almost want to say its heritage. Just as we come in all different shapes and sizes, and we come, we are born in to a particular nation, you could say, or however that shape or size is, shape, size, color, whatever. Trees have vocations as well. They have a purpose, and certain trees will have very specific vocations. And you'll often find that the trees you're drawn to are trees that have a very, very specific vocation. So if I glance out of my window, in the corner of my garden, there is a tree, and that has its vocation is to connect to the above worlds, to the star nation. When I go out at night, and I have photographed it with a heat-seeking camera, the energy that comes down from above to that tree is remarkable. The heat-seeking camera literally visibly shows it. The aura isn't just the aura around the tree, the aura shoots up. It's like a shaft of light, a shaft of energy. It's quite remarkable. And I have spent, obviously, this tree is in my garden. I've spent time talking to this tree. When I first moved here, the tree was quite uncertain about me. I think perhaps, I was new and there was a need to develop trust. Trust is something that should be earned. Not something that should just be granted. We develop trust through real experience. Now that tree and myself are really, really, really bonded. The trees here, I have a second tree in my garden. She is a wisdom keeper, and the house I live in sits on it's a spring site here, and so she is the keeper of that spring, and I've been shown that in my journeys and my meditations. She is the keeper of that. So she is connected to something below the ground. This other tree is connected to bringing energy from above, and they have a unique relationship. So their vocation individually is also a collective, a shared vocation, because they are creating a connection both above and below, and with the water, the way that the water on our planet connects to the stars and of course to the planets and the moon. So it's quite remarkable. It's why I've spoken about this before. There are times, there are areas in my house where a compass, a standard sort of like a schoolboy compass, it doesn't work. It doesn't point to north. But what is interesting is that it changes direction, particularly with the moon, in alignment with the moon cycles. And also if there are big planetary alignments, I've noticed it shifts. So it's a really good way of understanding how the energy is working, just by looking at that compass point and seeing where it's pointing and what's happening. So anyway, I'm now talking extensively, but the purpose of sharing that information is to let you know trees have a purpose as well, a calling, certain trees, and it's very often those trees you'll be drawn to. And when you are drawn to them, it is almost certain that they will have information that they wish to share with you, because part of their purpose is to obviously benefit all of life here on earth, to maintain balance. Trees also are here in a collective way to maintain balance, to aid and assist harmony on this planet. They balance us. We are in a really important relationship with trees. They balance us, and in principle, we should be able to balance them. That's obviously become significantly out of balance, and part of our awakening, our great awakening for the collective humanity, is to change that and to reconnect with the knowledge and the ancient wisdom that our ancestors knew, the earth wisdom, the tree wisdom, the understanding that means that we can live in a way that supports our planet rather than potentially damages it. Anyway, that is enough said, I think, for today. I hope that this is helpful to you. Let's now just tune in to these 3 piles. And aside from listening to your intuition, just consider yourself approaching each of these trees. As you approach the Sugi tree, pile 1, how are you feeling? What is the energy there? Have a listen to whether this tree is wanting to speak to you. Is there a message here for you? Just sit with this. Walk towards it in your mind's eye. Feel the auras as you cross them. Is this tree saying, come on in, I have a really important message for you? Or is it saying, actually, I have a message for someone else? It may even be saying, I have a message for you, but it's not today. Come back another time. Whatever it is saying to you, just listen to the energy. See that pathway between yourself and this tree. Listen to that energy. Just see how it feels. And if it is feeling right, then this will be a pile that is right for you. Okay, now let us do the same with the olive tree. Very, very different energy. I can feel a really distinct energy literally in my solar plexus as I move to a connection with this tree, with olive. Feel your way into this as you walk towards this olive tree. What are you noticing with the owls? What are you seeing? What are you being shown? Are signs being shown to you that indicate that there is a message here for you? Just tune into this. Allow yourself to feel your way into what will be pile 2 and just sit with this. Okay, and just tune in with that. Yeah, I'm just hearing, do not rush. No, literally they're saying, don't rush me. Thank you. Okay. Lovely. Now, if that is feeling right for you, there will be a message here for you. And now let's do the same with linden. Very different energy again. As you walk towards this tree, feel your way. What do the auras feel like? What is being shown to you? I'm sort of being shown a pathway ahead, actually, but let's listen to your own real experience. I don't want to bring too much into this. I want you to feel your way through this. Listen to the auras. How are they feeling for you? Are you being called to this tree? Is it beckoning to you? Follow this through. Listen to this. Lovely. And if this tree is speaking to you, this pile is speaking to you, then there will be a message here for you. Now, I am, as always, going to leave the camera running just a little bit longer, just in case you are not quite sure or you want to take a little bit longer with any one of these piles. If you were drawn to more than one, you might want to just sit and see which of them is calling to you first. So I'll leave the camera running for a little bit longer, as always. And beautiful souls, I will see you in the readings. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. We're going to draw your oracle cards first and then your tarot. Now, right off the bat, let's just really lean into the energy of Sugi. This is a tree that grows in Japan. It is very, very sacred. They are very often very ancient, very old. From what I have read, this is why Japan has been designated, this tree is part of why Japan has been designated a UNESCO sacred site or protected site, because of some of these trees. The age of them is, they're thousands of years old. Now, in the current climate of transition in the world, and also I would say probably some transition or just your own place in the world, this tree suggests that you are very troubled by kind of external events, by world events, by the way that people are behaving. And it can also suggest not just world events, but also that you are very troubled by the way that people are behaving around you. And with the spiritual warrior rune, Teiwaz is very, very discerning. Teiwaz invites you to really, almost like, I'm hearing, stand by your principles and have the strength to, this is like calling you to stand strong. There's a lot going on around you, whether this is personally or you're aware of it in the world, but you are very sensitive and I think you're deeply affected by what goes on around you. Let's draw more cards. I won't say any more just yet. See how your message unfolds. What is the Sugi tree wanting to share or speak to you about? I'm seeing 3 from this pack. We also have this card. Yeah, that's right. There we are. Now, I did mention right at the start that the cards that I use are always listed in the description below. So you'll be able to find them if you're interested in them. So we have 15th Path, the Emperor. Initiative, authority, leadership. Yeah, this is tuning in with Teiwaz, the spiritual warrior, the energy of holding your ground. We have the elements of water, intuition, emotions, love. And look at this, 32nd Path, the world, the universe. Independence, facing fears, self-discipline. Yeah, this is so in alignment with the energy of Sugi and the messages coming through. We have Kaliach, protector of the wild. And then we have 26, sage, sacred medicine, cleansing. Okay. Okie dokie dokie. I think I'm actually going to draw your tarot cards as well. But what these cards are affirming for me, firstly, is that there are things in your world that you are finding, I kind of want to say intolerable, but you are deeply affected by stuff that goes on. You are deeply affected by the way that the world is, particularly nature as well. There could be people around you who, for example, are cutting down trees, and it really affects you. It really upsets you. It causes you real difficulty. There's so much earth energy here with the turtle as well. The turtle energy honours the earth. as does Kaliak, protector of the wild. Kaliak is really an interesting energy. She was a wise earth goddess who could, I mean, hunters revered her. You know, she helped to keep the world in balance. You know, hunters revered her. She helped them to know and understand never to take more than they needed. It was said that she could, build a stone circle overnight, or create a burial mound or a sacred mound. She could, achieve phenomenal things. She kept balance in the world. I think you are deeply affected by things that are out of balance. This reading may also be suggesting that there is something in your own world, your personal circumstances, that is out of balance. Now, with the rune of strength, Uruz, for starters, I just need to say whenever I draw this rune, I always know that the universe has your back. So I just want to say that. The universe absolutely has your back. And the story in native traditions of the turtle is that the turtle, at a time of great flooding, element of water we have here, at a time of great flooding, when all of life was sort of like literally out at sea, turtle came along and said, climb on my back. And, I will become the new earth for you. I will be the land for you. And so, Turtle Island was, in Native American traditions, that's where America came from. America was Turtle Island, that this was the landmass as the waters then subsided. So this is the bringer of life, of new life. With strength, you are being invited to persevere through a situation. Don't back down on your principles. You are a protector, and at the moment you are finding yourselves, I think for some of you perhaps, just a little bit, you might have pockets of overwhelm where you just feel as though, how is this world going to, how are we going to navigate through this? Or whatever is going on in your personal world, how am I going to navigate through it? How do I handle something that feels as though it's so out of balance, but particularly in the behaviour and attitude of others? This has a very important reference point to the way that other people behave. It's not just the world at large, though I'm sure you are affected by that, but it's how specific people behave and your own feeling, I think, where you're feeling as though you really, really wish you could step up, but you also don't necessarily quite know how to. You're very emotionally, you're experiencing what's taking place around you at a very, very deep emotional level. There's also perhaps an opportunity for you to step up for some of you, and I think you are possibly a little bit fearful of stepping up and of the repercussions. It's not easy to step up if people are behaving badly, facing fears around that. But I feel that there is a very distinct pathway being opened up for you. Let's draw your tarot cards and find out more about this. With sage, sacred medicine cleansing. Sage literally changes the ions in the air. Native peoples have used sage for forever, really, to cleanse, to purify, to protect. And scientists have now discovered that when you burn sage, it changes the ions in the air. I think it changes them from positive to negative. I think that's right. But I think it's the negative ions that are good for us. So there's a change. I think you are someone who can create change. And I think you are being called to step up as you navigate something. But it feels quite emotionally driven or emotionally loaded. Let's draw your tarot cards and see how this is unfolding, or to gain further information for you and further messages. Okay, may we kindly have information, please, for my pile ones. May we have more information about the message that Sugi needs to offer to them today. This tree of great wisdom, profound knowledge. Just hearing a connection to the idea of world heritage. Yes, maybe some of you are dealing with issues of heritage. Okay, so we have the Chariot and we have the Universe. We then have the King of Discs, which is the King of Earth. Okay, we have the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords. Okay, we then have, let me move this along a little bit. Let me move these along, make a little bit more space for you. My lovely pile ones. We have, we have the Six of Discs. We have the Hanged Man. And we also have the King of Cups. How wonderful. Okay, 2 kings and the Emperor. Wow. Well, there you go. Okay. You are absolutely being called into a position of some sort of leadership. Now, it's unfolding. What I need to say to you, it is unfolding quite fast. But I want to say fast but steady. It's a really interesting mix here. This is one of those times when that's why we've got strength coming through. You know how something sort of, it builds. And when you look, in one way you're tackling it one step at a time. In one way it is unfolding. In another way, when you look back over the last 2 to 3 weeks and you'll think, how did I achieve all of that in that time? So much has happened. So much has changed. How did all of that do? How did I even navigate that in such a short space of time? So it's one of those times when, in one way, you are very connected to the process of evolution that is currently taking place, and whether this is, you know, your awareness of a bigger picture, or you're in the personal context of your world. And I'll talk about the context of your world in more detail. But you are actually being called to step up in some way. Now, there are times when you, I think, probably feel quite overwhelmed and think, well, how on earth am I ever going to achieve the end goal, or get to where I need to be, or fulfill this dream or this vision, or even stay on track with this? I think there are times when what you are doing is feeling quite overwhelming emotionally, but do not underestimate your capacity to see this through. Do not underestimate yourself. You have 2 kings. It sometimes feels like you are barely coming up for air, and you're thinking, how can I actually do this? But you are doing this. You are achieving this. There are things going on around you that you are not okay with. It's fine for you to say no. Look at the hand. It's like, seriously, talk to the hand. You know, for some of you, there could be some decisions that you are needing to make with the 5 of Swords that feel perhaps like quite a tough call. But with the 6 of Discs, don't underestimate, again, with the element of water, do not underestimate your capacity for your own agency, for your own sovereignty. The energy of Cailleach is so interesting. I feel almost as if this goddess is one of your guides, one of your spirit guides. If when you are communicating with nature, if you are out on the land and you are really noticing things, I feel there is an energy of her that maybe with some of you, several of you, many of you even, almost like a movement of people who uphold respect, uphold respect and courtesy of way more than just humanity, but of the land itself, of life itself, of nature particularly. It's kind of why you came here. Now, you have far more agency than you realise, so get yourself centred. What you need with the 6 of Discs will come to you. It'll be given to you. This is a card of generosity. You know, what you need when you need it will be given to you. So don't worry if you feel like you haven't got enough to be able to follow through to a bigger vision or a bigger ambition, whatever that may be. Trust. Whatever you need will be given to you at every stage of the way. The saying no card, I feel this is just a really, the Three of Swords in this pack is saying no to anything that is not balanced here with the scales here. And that would include any aspect of your own life. If you're really struggling, again, emotionally, this card is also asking you to manage your emotions. It's a real tricky one, but a very big part of our evolution as a collective humanity at the moment connects to managing our emotions and processing the emotional residue of generational trauma, of trauma to the earth. I mean, there's a relationship between them. Right now in your world, there is something or circumstances around you that just don't resonate with you. I think you are genuinely wondering how to navigate them. In one way, I sort of want to say persevere and keep going. Whatever you need will be gifted to you along the way, literally. You're going to get to the end goal with universe. Fascinating, we have the universe showing up here, this card again. Facing your fears, just stepping up every step of the way. Choosing to do things differently. Not being pulled into things. Owning your own sovereignty, owning your own agency, making your own decisions. If something isn't right, you make a decision. It doesn't mean you get into confrontation. It doesn't mean you feed more negative emotion into the world. There's no need for confrontation. Simply sort of take the actions you need to move something forwards. And what you need will be gifted to you to support you in doing this. There's a physicality of moving something forwards here in your world. Actually taking actions. This would be like if you're living in an environment where it's not particularly working for you. Let's say you're in a house share and it isn't working and you think, oh, it's going to be really tricky to hand my notice in. But hand your notice in. Find somewhere else and do it. It just grant yourself the opportunity to step into your own agency and your own sovereignty. And make the choices and decisions that you need to make to align you with the energy that is resonating with you, because you are slowly and steadily moving towards and into a role where just through the very nature and essence of the way that you live, you are in alignment with new ways of seeing, being, doing. You're we are all part of this great awakening, but pile one for you, there are circumstances coming into your world that you need to take action on. And actually, although there's lots of stuff going on in the world that you have no agency over directly, you do actually have some agency, because we're all interconnected. So every time we each take a step towards living more consciously, and that's not about power over anybody else, that's power over ourselves, our personal choices. Cailleach was a protector of the wild. She made sure that things were in balance. She didn't demand, but just the very nature of her protection meant that warriors lived in a balanced way. So anything within your world that is not in balance, this is about saying no to it. And this could even be things like your work-life balance. But anything and everything that is not in balance, if you're in a relationship where you're giving more than you're receiving, if you're living in an environment, whatever it is, there is something going on around you that is calling you to make a choice or a decision. You will be supported in this, and the choice and the decision is one that leads you to a balanced place. You have the right to make this choice. Perhaps some of you feel that you don't, but you really do. Cleanse yourself. This is a real fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway, whatever that choice is. Let's get a little bit of a sneaky peek into where this is going. or more information. Okay, so we have the Four of Discs. I'm seeing this card. We have the Judgment. Okay. We have the Seven of Discs. Yeah, there's some very practical stuff going on in your world. Very pragmatic, practical stuff. And you can make some choices about this. In fact, you need to make some decisions. We have the card of the Lovers, which is, of course, a card of ultimately of choice. Discernment. There are some very important choices for you to make around you, or right now, an important choice, but it will be one of many. You are making choices, and these choices are, there's a choice around you because something isn't resonating with you, it's not sitting with you, it's not okay, you feel it emotionally. So there is a real practical, pragmatic choice that you need to make. I think you have to make it, actually. I think you're being moved into a position where there's almost it's a choice you have to make. There, like circumstances move in a particular way that there is a choice you have to make and there's no way out of it. But that's cool because this is meant to happen and it's part of your rising. Own your own sovereignty. We have crowns showing up here. Own the choice that is right for you here is the one that resonates with higher values, the one that resonates with a non-greedy position, a non-powerful position, taking what you need, and knowing that you will get. It's like surrendering with the Hanged Man, surrendering to almost like the universe, surrendering to the evolution of this situation. Maybe we get a sneaky peek into how this emerges. I think there is a choice that has to be made here, and I almost feel that it's a bit of a no-brainer. Any reticence on your part is that there's an affirmation in this reading that says there's no need to be reticent. What you need will come to you. Please don't worry. Yeah, Princess of Discs. And the Three of Cups. I think very quickly, I have two more cards coming through for you. Oh, look at this. This is lovely. We have Knight of Discs and Knight of Cups. You couldn't have a better outcome. I can see that you're... It is that sort of feel the fear and do it anyway. But, this is actually, whatever the decision or the choice is around you, it is interesting. Something's going to come to a head in your personal world. It could be work, whatever it is. But I think you'll know what I'm talking about. This is about owning your own sovereignty, making that decision, calling that shout, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Just do it. It needs to be done. You are so moving into a place of harvest and of benefit from this, of good stuff. Okay? Absolutely good stuff. We've got to move forwards from the Princess of Discs here. This is the page. We're seeing results. We're seeing a positive, good result. Three of Cups. Yeah. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Whatever this choice or this decision, whatever is going on in the immediacy of your world that you're not comfortable with, call the shot. Whether it is just within yourself and then actions that follow, or it's having to call the shot in response to something. Or I think it is in response to something already, but it's because it does feel like there's something pragmatic or practical that you have to do, an actual action. Call the shot and move forwards. You'll reap the rewards from this. Feels unquestionable. You will reap the rewards. It will feel like an absolute relief once you do call the shot. And it will open up possibilities for you. More will come. Good will come from this, and more good will come from this. Wow, pile one. Such an interesting reading emerging. Yeah, you will be protected, and whatever you need will arrive as you navigate this transition. But yeah, call the shot. Hold your ground over this. Do what's right. This is very discerning. It's a very discerning energy. So there is a discerning choice to make, and it's important to make it. And yeah, I see nothing but positivity and more growth and more relief and joy and happiness coming from this. Pile one, this is your reading. Thank you so, so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments if working with trees is working with you, and I will do more of these readings if that is, resonating with you. Thank you for liking, sharing, letting people know about the channel, for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe and press a little bell icon if you want to make sure you never miss a reading. Don't forget to check out my second channel if you want to look at the all zodiac sign readings, your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign. This is the Moon Magic Weekly Tarot channel, where I post readings all week, pretty much every day actually, something goes up here. But I also have a Moon Magic Monthly Tarot channel where I put your all zodiac sign readings. So do check those out, the other channel out as well, and I will put the link in the description box below. Tons of love, pile one. Thank you for being here, and yeah, let me know if this is working for you, and I will do more. Pile two, welcome to your reading. You have Olive, and I think I'm going to draw your oracle cards before saying too much, but what is coming through here for me is to do with creating a sacred space. With Perth, the rune of initiation, this is like a rite of passage. So it may be that you need to create a sacred space, a space where you can just drop into stillness every day, a space where you can realign, get recentered. I don't know what is going on, but maybe things are gathering momentum in your world. You certainly are being protected, but maybe you are needing a space of protection as well. Let's draw your oracle cards, see what we are showing first. My wonderful pile two. May we please have information for my pile two. There is your next card, beautifully coming out for you from this pack. And indeed, let's see what we are shown here. I'm seeing this one for you. Okay. What do we have here? We have, first of all, the 19th path. Strength and lust, defending the weak, peacekeeping. How interesting, because this is a card of peace. Olive is a very sacred tree. There is a tree in Athens that is said to still be a descendant of the original mother of all olive trees. We have 24th path, death, grief, rebirth, transformation. We have the 11th path, the Fool, leap of faith, freedom, trust. My goodness me, beautiful souls, there is a really major transition taking place in your life. It's this rite of passage. No wonder you need a space to just get still, to recover. Things are gathering momentum in your world. We then have the card of cave, incubation. This is the west direction of the medicine wheel. We then also have Dreamcatcher, Dream Time. Gosh, your messages are really coming through loud and clear. I'm excited to draw your tarot cards, but let's just sit with what we have here first, pile two. Okay, you are undergoing a profound transformation, and a new beginning is coming in for you. Now, some of you will be aware of this, and some of you are still waiting for the new to emerge. With Perth, the rune of initiation, it's not like we're stepping from one doorway into another. It's like we are in a space of transformation. Now, this card is bringing you the strength to navigate this transition, and also asking you to listen to your desire with lust. I think you are really wanting to break free from something. In this card, we are seeing like there is a window with light coming through, but the window has bars on it. There is something in your world that you want to move away from, that you want to break free from. It could be a pattern of thinking. It could be an actual circumstance or a situation. For some, it could even be a relationship, although I'm not seeing that specifically here, to be honest. But there is a dream you have. There is something that you want to have. You want to grow. You want something different in your life. This is happening. This process is happening. I think that it hasn't happened yet, and I think you are in that space of incubation, the cave, in that space of the dream time. Maybe you are only just beginning to really formulate what that dream might look like. You have a dream, you have a vision, you know you want something, but you possibly don't quite know what shape it's going to be yet. This would be like if you were single, it would be like dreaming in a relationship. And you don't quite know what that person's going to look like yet. If you are wanting to change your job or your circumstances or move somewhere, you don't quite know what the exact location is or the exact job might look like. You just know that you want to change. Now, change is coming. Change is absolutely on its way. And you are being invited by the olive tree, the guidance from the olive tree, to create a sacred space for yourself every day. You know, you might create an altar, or you may just create space where you really can sit and meditate. If you're living in a really busy world, you might carve out that space almost like as you go to bed. So when everyone else is asleep, you are sitting in that space where you give yourself room to just get still. It's kind of like going into your cave, entering the dream time. Because I think you will be shown, potentially, with these two owls, you will be given the information to know what to do to move things forwards. You'll know when to act, when to initiate something. Don't know if you can hear that. Gosh, that's a very low aeroplane flew over here. How unusual. Yes. See, look at that. Just as I'm talking about being shown a sign, along comes something that doesn't happen here very often. I live out in the countryside. It's very on the edge of a village. It's very quiet here. Randomly, occasionally, we get an aircraft, but that's not a standard aircraft. So that's something that's flown over. So something will be shown to you. Let's get more information. Let's look at your tarot cards. But you are needing space, sacred space, so that you can see something. It may also be that your life is really busy, really hectic, and it doesn't feel as though there's very much space for you to even kind of enter the dream time, even be present to what might be possible. In which case you're being invited to do that. Get still. Drop into stillness. Yeah, look at that. Your first card, we have the death again showing up here, the death path. How extraordinary that is, really. So there is rebirth opportunity around you. We have the Four of Swords, and this is the card of meditation, getting still, creating that space. We have the Two of Wands, and we have the Teacher coming in. Okay, now this is the Hierophant in a traditional pack. That's interesting. So you may find that somebody, literally a mentor, a wise person, we have two owls, somebody very wise is going to be entering your world to assist you and to guide you, to show you the way. Okay, that's rather fortunate, very lovely. We have the Ten of Swords, so whatever it is that is needing to end is going to end. You know, it's going to reach its conclusion. That's great. And we then have the Five of Wands. And I always feel with this particular Five of Wands, look at it's like the wheel is turning. And I always think with the sickle, this card always connects me to the Wheel of Fortune and also to the Death card. So we have the wheel turning. Okay, your situation is absolutely going to end. There is something you are needing to exit or something you want to transform. We also have the Queen of Wands. I might put this one here. Where can we place this? I'll put it. I'm going to move these down a little bit, perhaps, or move them up or down. I'll move them up and then we'll place them on top. So we have the Queen of Wands. Again, this is a card of profound transformation and empowerment. Oh, you've got two queens. Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. We have the Four of Discs and we have the Knight of Discs. Okay. Now, this transformation, my beautiful souls, this opening, this emergence, something that's in the incubation period that will change. Your circumstances are absolutely going to change. That's what we're seeing here. Something that you want to move forwards will move. It's not moving. This is not fast. It's very interesting. There's not a fast energy. Rather like grieving. You know, when we lose somebody and we are grieving, it's not, you can't speed that process up. You can't decide, right, I'm not grieving anymore. You know, that's it, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. The grieving process takes time and it comes in waves, and there are times when we can move forwards, times when we need to enter the dream time and just be still, times when we reflect and look back. A mourning process takes time. And it is as if, you know, you are in a process of transformation from one circumstance to another. Something is absolutely changing, and it will reach a point where it concludes. And I don't think this is a million miles away, if I'm honest. I don't think it would be showing up in this reading today if it wasn't. The olive tree messages, and they seem so gentle and so nurturing. Our olive has a very peaceful energy. Indeed, it's a peacekeeper. And you have the path of strength, defending the weak, peacekeeping, sincerity. You know, this energy is really saying to you, look, you can move away from a situation and into something very new, and it needs to happen gently, slowly. You know, you have the Four of Swords, you have the Four of Discs. This is a card of meditation. Passion is here with the Two of Wands. We have a card of passion ignited. I actually think, my lovely souls, that something is on your horizon. For some of you, for some of you, you simply know you want to change, and that's coming. For others, something has already ignited something of your passion or your desire, but you're not you haven't yet reached that point where you're there. It's coming. One circumstance is ending and a new is arriving. I think assistance is coming for you with a mentor. Somebody will come along who will assist you, guide you. And with the card, the energy of the Hierophant, the card of the Hierophant, this is also about making a commitment to moving forwards, making a commitment to process this. Now, the Queen of Wands is a card of transformation. And the Queen of Cups is a card of great emotional well-being. With the Four of Discs and the Knight of Discs, we see greater stability coming into your world. So whatever it is that you really want to change, we are being shown here that it will change. I don't think it is a million miles away, but I think it's in progress, incubation. And the best way that you can personally assist this energy is to create a sacred space and to really enter the dream time and get still, rather than being in a state of mind where you're either trying to force something to happen, or likewise you're feeling emotionally reactive to stuff, or you're worrying about things. This is a time to let it unfold and sort of surrender to this process. I feel I want another card here. Maybe we have another card here. May we please ask for another card here for my pile twos. May we please ask for another card here. I'm actually seeing this one. Yeah, Five of Swords. So this is a card of making that choice. Okay, this came out in pile one, interestingly enough. Okay. The new is coming. I'm going to ask about this in just a second. Let's ask about it, how this arrives. There will come a point when you actually do have to sort of make a choice to call that shot. We've got 2 5s. I think it's coming sooner rather than later. I think you are going to burn some bridges. Okay? That might be why they're sort of saying, you know, create a sacred space of stillness. You're protected through this transition. It's a challenge, isn't it, to put something down, to let go of something, to move on from something. Even if you really, really want to move on into the new, it's hard to let go of the status quo as well. That's what I feel is around you. Some of you could have experienced a bereavement, and maybe you are in that stage where you know you really need to re-embrace life. You know that life is passing you by, and you know that you need to begin to re-emerge into some aspect of your world, and yet there is hesitation and emotion around it. But truly, the point of turn, I think, is really imminent around you. I always think with Perth, it's a bit like you're in that space of incubation, but you're also in the dream time. So it's like the light at the end of the tunnel, is what I want to say. Something is to end. Look at the light streaming through from a situation that has held you back, whatever that may be. Whether that's been a natural process of grieving for something, in which case, of course, you weren't ready to move into the world, or something else that has restricted you or held you back. This is coming to an end. That is absolutely clear. And you will have to make some choices, but this is, you're moving to a much more stable period of happenings, which is really lovely in a world that feels quite unstable. And the thing that you can do to really assist this is to create that sacred space. The energy of Olive is with you. If you're going to burn oil in your sacred space, you may want to burn olive oil. You may want to just connect with this energy of peacefulness, of being shown, given guidance through meditation. May we ask, please, about the Fool? May we ask about this new opportunity? Could we be given any information for pile 2 about this new opportunity, please? Let's see that one. Okay. Let's get information about this new opportunity for you. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the 9 of Discs, we have the Princess of Swords, and we have the Knight of Wands. Gosh, this is very dynamic. How interesting. Okay. Gosh, when it happens, so this is actually about reconnecting with love. So whether this is coming through a period where love has been difficult, perhaps, or you have felt out of touch with yourself, not in love with yourself, or not in love with life. Interesting, she carries this 9 of Discs. She carries a scythe again. And the Princess of Swords is really cutting through something here. So I think there could be a situation for some of you where something hasn't been very fair and you need it to change. And I think you'll be able to move on from that. Something will come. Something's coming in that's quite dynamic and fast happening with the Knight of Wands. So I think this new opportunity, the light at the end of the tunnel, I think it will present itself relatively soon, if it hasn't already. Now, for some of you, it may be there and you are, whoa, this is gathering momentum. What do I do? A little bit of anxiety around it. Well, then get still. You'll be shown every step of the way. I think for many of you, there's a situation that feels like it's still holding you back. And I think it is still around you. Now, I think that opportunity is coming soon to change this. It's coming because something is coming into your world that kind of lights the way or ignites your passion or offers you an actual opportunity to step into something new. And when that comes, I think it's the power of it, the intensity of it, the passion of it, the creativity of it could almost sort of slightly take your breath away. But it will lead you to a much more stable period in life. So I sort of almost feel that this is one of those scenarios where you just have to take it. You know, it's like it's an opening, it's a window, it's an opportunity. It takes you out of your cave. The biggie really here is that it takes you out of your comfort zone. That's what we're being shown here. However, it's leading you to a much more stable, peaceful, balanced way of living, away from some form of conflict, away from some form of angst. That's what I'm seeing here. Well, I think it is, we asked the Fool card, I think this is coming, it could also come through an invitation through a friend with the Three of Cups. This is a card of connectedness, emotional connectedness. Could come from friends. Yeah, it's coming through for some of you. But I actually think you'll know you want to follow this. You'll know you want to do this. It'll be something that sparks that creativity, or that it fires you up. So something that fires you up creates the end of this space of kind of waiting or incubation. And when it comes, it will take you out of your safe zone and into your stretch zone. But it will also, interestingly enough, lead you to a place of much greater harmony and stability, much greater emotional stability as well. So this is a really, really good, it's a really good opportunity. I think it's literally taking that step that feels as if it's quite a big step to take. Because in one way it feels like you're stepping out of your safe zone. The irony is that I think you will move to something that feels much safer and much more stable. So it's quite an interesting sort of paradox, really. But just drop into stillness, have that sacred space. This is going to help you navigate this transition, and this is the energy of Olive. There's so much peace being brought into your life instead of a current scenario that is either holding you back or feels conflicting or just doesn't feel, it feels like it's time it ended. It's time to move on from something. Pile 2, this is your reading. I don't think anything else is going to be coming through here for you. Let me know if you are enjoying these readings and working with the trees. If you do, let me know in the comments and I will potentially do more. Yeah, super fab to be tuned in with you. It's an honour to read for you as always. Dearest ones, thank you so much, all of you who subscribe and like and share. It really does help to maintain the channel and helps me to put free stuff into the world. I now have 2 channels. This is the Moon Magic Weekly Tarot channel. I also now have the Moon Magic Monthly Tarot channel. The weekly channel is where I post pretty much every day, something every day. Don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to get notification as soon as I upload a reading. And also I have the Moon Magic Monthly Tarot channel, which is where I'm putting the monthly all zodiac sign readings. So if you want to check out your sun sign, your moon sign, the coming month, your rising sign, or any of those readings, do check out that channel. I will put the link in the description box below. Pile 2, tons and tons and tons of love. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Now you have linden. Linden is actually another name for a lime tree. And its energy is very much about love. We have the Venus star. It's about peace. It's also about harvest. The lime tree gives us so much. The lime flowers you can make into a tea. It calms the nerves. It's very, very good for peacefulness, for calmness. I think they used to make rope or something from lime trees as well. It's a remarkable tree that brings a harvest, and you have the rune of harvest. You have Manas as well, the rune of the self. Let's see what Linden is wanting to say to you, Pile 3, in your message. What is coming through from this beautiful tree message today for my Pile 3? Okay, you've got 2 from this pile. Okay. That's cool. You're the first pile to have that. Often seems to be the case, actually, that pile 3 somehow then has extra cards. I don't know why. It just seems to work that way, but it very often does. Okay, so we have, first of all, the 13th path, the High Priestess. Look at the rainbow showing up again and the colours. This is so interesting. We have the 14th path, the Empress, which is about abundance and harvest. We have the Lovers, the 17th path, which is about Venus, love, the Venus star. Wow, I think this may be about love. We have Macha, 13, strength and endurance. Now this has there's a story to this card that is really interesting. We then have Island, boundlessness and boundedness and isolation. Okay, we're going to put these over here, I think. Boundedness and isolation, and up here, I wonder if I can get both of these in. Is that going to work? I might be able to move these along. Let me just move our cards along and see if we can get these up the top here. We have ancestors, spirit guides, and the forest. Look at the trees speaking to you, supporting you. Wow, this is beautiful, pile 3. Okay. I think there is something with the endurance energy of Macha. Macha, the story of Macha is that she married. I think she was a goddess of some sort anyway. Or a fairy. She was of another world, and she married a human. So this is about marriage, but the person that she married a human, and her magical powers meant that she could run as fast as a horse, and she could almost beat any horse. Not that she would have wanted to be competitive, but anyway, she married somebody who told people she had forbidden. Part of the agreement was that she had forbidden them to ever reveal her true identity. Okay, she was not allowed. This was part of their agreement, that he would honour, that it would not be revealed that she was not an earthling. And anyway, he bragged that she could run faster than any horse, and then I think the king of the land or somebody like that, somebody in a position of power, forced her to race against one of his fastest horses, and she was with child, and I believe the story is that she passed away. So there's something here about power. And I think this is a relationship reading for many of you. Now, this could be a love relationship for many, many of you because of the Venus star. It could also be, and the Lovers, it could also be a relationship of, it could be a different kind of relationship. If any of you have been trying to have children, for example, I think this would suggest that this will be possible. You know, linden lime is a tree that gives. You're being gifted. You're being blessed. The High Priestess guides us. Look at the rainbow showing the way. The rainbow is a symbol of luck, of good luck, of prosperity. I think a time of endurance is coming to an end. If you have experienced relationships of power dominance, I think you are going to meet a partner of inequality, of intelligence, of real, a proper twin flame. There is something you desire that is coming to harvest. If you are looking for a business partnership, then this will be a very fruitful one. With the dog here, I'm seeing loyalty coming in as well. This is being guided by your ancestors and literally honoured by the earth. You are being supported to find this twin flame. Even the rune of Manas, the self, it's the rune of joy, which is Wunjo, which looks like a P shape, split down the middle, looking at each other. So this can indicate like a twin flame union. No man is an island. You know, the isolation that I think some of you have experienced. Some of you have experienced isolation within a relationship. If you have been in a long distance relationship, I think it's going to come together. You're going to be able to meet. You're going to be able to finally get together. If you've been parted for some reason, for circumstances have parted you, just life circumstances, I think you're going to come back together. If you have felt emotionally isolated in some way, shape or form, or if you have been really defended because of previous hurts, power, misuse of power within relationships, this is going to end. If you have had a falling out with your partner, your spouse, your person, your special person, or even a friend, if you've had a falling out with someone, I think that division is going to come to an end. If for some of you, you could even be re-meeting someone that you haven't seen for a long time. But this is a connection that is now coming together. And that is the message of Linden. I think you've had to wait for this. There's been some patience and some endurance is a better word than it's very different to patience. I think you've had to wait. It's been an endurance test. Yeah, maybe you have also, with the healing energy that comes from Lyme, if you have struggled with your own kind of mental or emotional health, or you have a partner who has struggled with mental or emotional issues, or even a family member, a friend, somehow healing is coming and you'll be able to get back on an even keel with someone. This is all about love, all about love. If you've lost touch with your own relationship with the divine, you're going to get back in tune with that relationship in no uncertain terms. I'm seeing these cards here as well. This one, also this one, and that one wishes to come through as well. And this is a relationship about love, pure and simple, and relationship, and it's connecting to relationship of some kind. You have the Sun. What a beautiful, beautiful start to your reading. We have the card of the Sun. We have the card of strength. Yeah, you have really been on an endurance test. You have had to wait. This is what I'm hearing is this is worth waiting for. So if it's a coming back together or whatever this is. With the Emperor, I think some of you really have been on a quest looking for that spark. The Two of Wands. You've been waiting for that magic to arrive, for the spark to be there, for the spark to be returned if you've waited in an existing relationship. We have the Ace of Swords. This is a definitive turning point that this reading is indicating. So there is a turning point coming in relationship for you. Oh, yes, it is definitely. We have all of these, looking at these cards now. We have the Three of Discs. How many cards do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll put them underneath. Okay, so we have the Three of Discs sitting under the Sun. How beautiful. This is such success. Look at the way this, there's a triumph in this. It's like, yes. We then have the Four of Discs, how the progression here. This feels like you get there. This is what I'm hearing in the Four of Discs. It was worth the wait. I always think with this particular card, I feel like I have two towers in reverse. But isn't it interesting? It's two towers. Back to the energy of two. I think if this is a new relationship, or indeed whoever you are coming back together with, or you are meeting for the first time, you have both waited a long time for this reunion. You have both worked hard to make this possible. If it's the rekindling of a relationship that has not been okay, it's the coming back together after a period of endurance. Literally, fertility. If some of you, if you're having fertility treatment, you could even have twins. But we are looking at, abundance, fertility, joy. Wonderful. This is just wonderful. Loyalty. The Eight of Cups. It's a new dawn. It really is a new beginning. This is a whole fresh new start. We have the card of the Lovers. And we have the Six of Discs. And the Six of Discs is a card of great sort of generosity, stability, reliability. This is somebody who is loyal, loyalty, connection. This is absolutely heavenly. Absolutely heavenly. It really, really is. There's been a couple of readings recently that I have done that have been almost like, I almost want to say short, sweet, and to the point, but in the most joyous way. It's like the message has been so clear. It's like, okay, here's your message. Where do we go from here? And because in a way we don't need to. This has been guided. You are supported. I mean, this is a union of connection. What I'm just noticing here, look at the hearts on the roots of these trees. They show this connection, this interconnectedness. This is someone who gets you and you get them. This is meant to be. This is a connection that you can put down roots together. There is a real strength, and there is a strength and an endurance, a long-term endurance in this connection. If any of you are birthing a child into the world, you may well have known them in a past life before. That's really coming through very strongly. You may have had a connection with them. This child is coming in, and you know when you look into a baby's eyes sometimes and you think, my goodness me, you are an old soul. You look and you see someone very, very wise looking back at you. And you can see it sometimes in really like newborn babies. They are fresh into the world. I think in a way because they have barely landed almost, or they are in the process of landing. You look into their eyes and they're still very much in tune with where they've come from. And you look and you just think, you are wise. You are so, so wise. And in this instance, and indeed if you are meeting somebody new, this is one of those moments where you just, you have this connection, through and through, you just know it. Pile 3, this is absolutely heavenly. Absolutely heavenly. I'm not sure I need to draw any more cards, which is unusual, really. Usually I often go off in different directions, but this reading is so clear. I don't think there is anything else to say. I wish to be very grateful and thank Lyndon for this message. Very interesting. When I drew this card to start with, I kind of saw a pathway ahead unfolding. And then with the Venus star showing up as the charm, it almost felt like I was being shown a North Star, your guiding light, the direction you're meant to go in. As if there is a pathway unfolding in front of you. That came through very strongly in the very first part when we were drawing the cards, working with the cards and the runes. As we were tuning into that energy. Pile 3, this is heavenly. I love your reading. It is time for you to no longer endure, to be on your own, or to have to feel like something you're longing for is never happening. This is transforming. And it is absolutely worth the wait. Very beautiful, very angelic energy. I mean, the ancestors, your spirit guides, absolutely. Even here, look at the planets that we see here. They have roots growing out of them. I mean, this is wonderful. Pile 3, this is your reading. Keep me posted, fill me in the comments, let me know when this harvest is coming to you or how it is emerging. Even here in Lyndon that we can see two beautiful doves. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just get that card up for you to bring into view. Just want to show you that. Let me just see if I can get that focus for you. Look at that. 2 birds flying over the rainbow. How beautiful is that? 2 doves of peace in harmony together. Magic. Okay, let's focus that again. There we go. Beautiful souls, this is your reading. Thank you so much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, letting people know about the channel. It really does help me to continue to put free stuff into the world. It is a joy and a blessing to read for you. I love readings like this. I absolutely love them. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being present and being a part of the Moon Magic Tarot community. I now have 2 channels. This is the Moon Magic Weekly Tarot channel, and I also have the Moon Magic Monthly Tarot channel. Here I post readings pretty much daily, whether it's a pick a card or a single message for you, or on the other one, the Moon Magic Monthly Tarot channel, I post your all zodiac sign readings every month. So if you want to get the heads up around the month ahead and look at your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, then that is the place to go and check those readings. Beautiful souls, I am sending you all the love in the world. Thank you so much for being here. Tons and tons and tons of love to you.